Good to see everybody. So welcome back. As always, I checked the counter. Shout out to everybody that tuned in early. Appreciate y'all. We jump right in as always. First off, the book Fear. Go ahead and get that. Full color copies. All the proceeds go to the Mary Kemp Foundation. Make sure you get yourself a copy of the book Fear. Next up, shout out to my man Clarity, big supporter of the show, doing some great things out in Belize right now. And then who we got next? We got my man Howard's Blend. Shout out to Howard's Blend. Check out that plant-based protein. Check out some of that pre-workout. I actually brought that pre-workout with me the other day. We drove to Houston and I was on no sleep, like I'm on no sleep right now. And I packed that. So get that pre-workout. It's definitely worth it. And last but not least, we want to shout out the good folks at the Friendship Inn, 601 West Veterans Memorial Boulevard, Killeen. I don't know if I'm biased or not, but I think it's the best place to stay in Killeen. So if you're ever in town.
Those are the purple shirts, right?
The purple shirts.
Yeah, I got
the purple shirts. So shout out to them. And without further ado, today we got my man Josh Sharon with us today.
How you doing, everybody?
Thank you for popping out. And man, it feels like we've known each other like longer than we just met.
It's
like
coming up on a year, actually.
Yeah. But it feels like
it has been. We've had a lot of conversations since then and a lot of stuff going on. So it does feel, but time flies, man. Father time.
Yeah. So shout out to Amanda Santos at Proper Title. She's the one who actually connected us through a toy drive or a holiday drive, rather, because it was more than just toys. Yeah. So you want to tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, real quick. So I have been doing a toy drive this will be the 9th year now in Central Texas, working with an organization called Communities in Schools. They deal with low-income, at-risk students throughout all of the United States, and we have the Greater Central Texas chapter here in Killeen. And what they do is they interact with the kids on a daily basis. So there's no better person or organization to get resources from when it comes to kids in need. So they are the ones that get us all the information from the kids, and then my donors get a list that's full of all of their needs and all of their wants and everything. So it's more than just a toy drive, because the kid is getting sponsored, each individual child, with everything that they need and want. Last year we did 125. This year we've got 75 covered already, and then we'll do the drop off on December 12th. So we'll try to break 100 by then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Holiday time, we're definitely going to get involved again, and we share that out with our clients. So we should be able to get you some more.
Yeah, man, and that's where we met. I met you in the old office, and you had bought somebody some Jordans, and that's what I remember is like you got one of the kids some Jordans, and as the person that's putting it on, I always tell them, kind of be leery of asking for really expensive gifts. I don't want to put my donors in a position to have to make that decision. But I was like, got some Jordans, big ups for
and they weren't off-brand either.
No,
they were ones that would knew that I wasn't going to be that guy.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. I remember the Jordans and the kids and all of that. So but it's crazy that it's already been a year since that's happened.
Yeah, and then a lot within that year.
Yeah.
So let's kind of jump in there. So we met, we spoke, we said we're gonna meet, and I meet a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people, and I get a lot of phone numbers.
Yeah.
And it never really ever pans out.
Because most people don't follow up.
Never.
Yeah. That's what I was taught young. You just got to follow up. And that's how I really got my job out of college too. You just follow up with people and you never know what'll happen. So I followed up, and here I am on a podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
you were on 2 podcasts with, so.
Right. So we did. So let's talk about that. So we actually record 2 podcasts.
Correct.
You bring me out, and then a few months go by, and I'm like, man, I'm itching. Like, again, a lot of y'all know me. Like, I'm like the most impatient, patient person. I thought the conversation was good.
Yeah.
So we did 2, right? We did the first one, and then we did the second one. And the second one was like hash it out.
It's hashing out. It was behind.
Right. Yeah. We did a solo interview.
Yeah.
And y'all go back and watch the show. This is episode, I think, 28 of just the podcast. So there's no cap when I say a compliment. Like, I really mean it.
Yeah.
That was one of the best interviews I've ever had.
I appreciate that.
And I even said it then,
Yeah.
and I said it after the show.
Oh, it's because the question I asked you.
Yeah, how you started the question. So y'all want to see that interview? And I got permission.
Yeah, run it. Yeah.
All right. So what happens is, whenever I go somewhere, I always ask, like I asked at the time, I always record behind the scenes. Sometimes it's just for clips for social media, sometimes it's for whatever, but I always put it on just for like my own background, here again, whatever, this, that, and the third. And thank God I recorded it, because if I didn't, that would be lost forever, because that podcast is never going to come out.
It's never going to see the light of day.
That's never going to drop.
Yeah.
So I thought about that when we were getting ready for our show, because Hassan Minaj, we could bring up his picture.
He would be proud of that pronunciation.
Yeah, Hassan. He is going through something right now, and what happened to him was he did an interview for the New Yorker, and they basically put it together how they wanted to. They misquoted him, they misrepresented him, and he did a special about it. So like, I don't read the New Yorker. Yeah. I didn't hear about it until I heard about his response, because he was under fire. But what they said was that he faked racism in his show to like sell tickets, and he took like some creative liberties or whatever.
Okay.
But they really made it like he lied about everything, and then boom, he goes with the fact checking. So it made me think about our conversation, because we had, like, again, a real deep conversation. Yeah. And a lot, it felt like we were just talking.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, it covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like it was an interview. So anyway, to go back to that, I'm happy that I had that. And so I was like, oh, I gotta see if we could drop that show.
Yeah, definitely put the behind the scenes out, because like there was definitely some nuggets in there that the world should have seen already. Unfortunately, they didn't, and that's neither here nor there as to why they haven't. But yeah.
They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it when they're supposed to.
Get it when they're supposed to. I like that.
So part of that discussion and part of your work, which is crazy. Like, if y'all seen the flyer, like, you do so much. So you're like, I always say, like, I don't feel like I'm an entrepreneur. I just feel like I'm a real estate investor. Yeah. Which doesn't necessarily qualify you as an entrepreneur.
Okay. I mean, I say, as somebody that used to do real estate, I think you're undervaluing the work that you do. You and my boy both. I had lunch with him today, and he's like, well, I don't really do. I'm like, no, but the amount of stuff that you tell me that you have to do to get one deal, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm out. I don't. There's the crossing of the I's, dotting of the T's, all of that stuff. You've got to be pinpoint accurate and chasing deals down and all of that. So you do a lot. Like,
I appreciate it. Like, I do. I understand the work. I'll equate it to sports.
Okay.
Let's say I'm like a specialist. Like, I'm a real good 3-point shooter.
Okay. That's what I was in high school.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you're like an all-around kind of person, because you've had experiences and you do things in all different realms, where I feel like I'm just closing deals.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
So that's why I feel like I'm not so much an entrepreneur.
I'm definitely, as humble as this could be, I'm definitely a jack of a lot of trades, but I have found that photography, which I never, because I hate taking photos. I've hated taking photos, like being in them. I used to ruin family pictures all the time. Shout out to my dad. He'll tell you I ruined a lot of them. So I never saw myself as being one to be anything with a camera. And now I've actually learned to like it somewhat more than I thought I would. Like, I never thought I would. And now I'm like, I can actually make this a career if I push myself to do it.
And I think you have the coolest job out of this. So like, I use myself as an example. Like, I travel.
Yeah.
I bounce around. I do business stuff. I fly, whatever, this, that, and the third. But you like travel.
Yeah. Like, I miss it because COVID. So a little backstory. I'm from Killeen, born and raised on the base. Went to high school at Heights. Left to go to TCU to run cross country and track in 2003. In 2007, I got a job right out of college that put me on the road, and I traveled for 15 years nonstop until COVID. COVID shut that industry down, and that's when I pivoted. But I mean, I lived for 300 days minimum every year on the road.
How many countries?
I've been to 49 countries in 49 states.
I don't think I can name 49 countries.
I can run through a lot of them. So my people always ask, what's the goal? My goal is 100. And if I get to 100, then I got to see the rest. And so the number fluctuates 1 or 2 here and there, but I think it's 196 countries that you can get into with a U.S. passport, and there's 4 or 5 that you can't. So I've got to find a way to get into. So like North Korea, you can't get in with a U.S. passport. Iran, I believe there's one country in Africa. So there's a couple countries that I have to figure out, find some ancestry to get another passport, or take up residency in another country to get their passport to get in.
What's the one state we should go this weekend?
The one state, my favorite state in the country to visit is California.
Okay.
Because of the state taxes, I'd probably never live there. And it's just cost of living is ridiculous. But to be able to go skiing, if that's what you want to do, or the nature or the city, you can do it all. In other states, you can do that too. But I mean, Yosemite is my favorite place in the country, hands down.
I've actually never been to Cali. I got it. And I know. Shout out to my man Naveed. He's like, man, you got to come out. You got to catch a Lakers game. So I'll probably end up seeing a Lakers game this season. Like, I've seen LeBron play already before, but I'll probably end up out there. Like, I've never been to Vegas before.
Okay.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's
somebody who always, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
No, so what's the one state? Because I'm like, I was like, I would think it'd be Alaska, but I'm like,
I haven't been to Alaska. Alaska's the one I haven't been to. It was the one? Yeah,
right,
so that's the one. And I'm supposed to go, potentially going there for like around New Year's. Is going to be the trip to go see the Northern Lights.
Right, the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, Aurora Borealis. There you go with the scientific terms. I like that. So that's supposed to happen. I'll knock those 50 out, and then I'll check 50 countries next year for sure.
That's the only reason I want to go to Alaska. Julian, who was on a show a couple, Julian, right? He was stationed out there.
Okay.
And so he was like, man, we're going to Alaska. You want to go? I'm like, when am I ever going to Alaska? Maybe I'll take a trip. And he was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. I was not going. They were like fishing and like, I didn't want to do that.
Oh, so you've been?
No. I said no to the trip.
Oh,
he was like, yeah, we got sleeping bags. And I said, I'm not going. Like, he was out there on some military stuff, so they were comfortable with the fishing and the bears. And I was like,
New York cats not really outdoors people, really are y'all?
No.
Yeah, like NYC, y'all don't do outdoor.
We got rats, pigeons, roaches. That's it.
I will say this about New York City, man. I don't think there's a group of people in the country that ride or die for their city more than New Yorkers. Because for the amount of money that y'all spend on the little bit of space that you get for rent, and the amount of money that food costs, like, you could live like kings. And the hustle mentality that it takes to survive, like all those songs, it takes a different person to survive there. It does. But you don't got to live that way. Like, that's why I tell people, anybody that lives in like cold weather states, where you don't have to live there. You can move.
Right.
You could come south. We don't have to live in snow. You don't have to pay $3,000 for 500 square feet. Like, you can come.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? I'm glad you said that. There's so many people that tell me about Texas that have never been, and it's how it is, and it's racist, and I'm like, so when you went there, you experienced these things? No, or vice versa. People from Texas tell me about what they think they know 100%. About New York. The crime and how bad it is. And I mean, of course, there's crime, and of course, there's racism in Texas, but there's also racism in New York, and there's also crime in Colleen.
Yeah,
there's also crime everywhere you go. So
my mother is one of them. She always hates when I travel abroad. And I tell this story, it's funny. Like, I think I was to Egypt. We were going to Egypt, and there was like a travel advisory, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going. And she was like, I was looking at travel insurance, and the dead face, well, which one brings your body back if you die? I'm like, damn, Mom, don't put that in the atmosphere right now, but this one does, if you have that question. But no, people will always, that don't even own a passport, will tell me, like, oh, you shouldn't be going there. I'm like, have you been there? Like, it's amazing in the rest of the world. Like, you should probably open up, just like New York and Texas and vice versa. Like you say, you got to go see and make your own opinion. Stop listening to what everybody else tell you.
Yeah, usually it's not what people make it seem. And you get your own experience. And a lot of places, like you said, are really beautiful. A lot of places are really comfortable. And then coming from New York, everything's easy. So like, we just came back from Chicago a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, we stayed downtown, Magnificent Mile. And that's supposed to be like the worst it's downtown. And it was like dead outside compared to New York. And it, like, we talked about, like, it didn't smell bad. it wasn't dirty. And
Yeah.
like, but people from maybe like Cali or Texas be like, oh my God, there's 7 people in this block. Like,
Yeah.
I can't survive. So it's just one of those things. And I agree. And it's like that with most things, especially like being an entrepreneur. I think there's a theme, and you could run it and give your experience, where people think that being an entrepreneur means you kind of get to wear sweatpants, do what you want, hang out. It's easy. You make your own hours. You're your own boss. What's your experience?
You can do that if you're just trying to be run of the mill, but you've got to, I mean, what's that saying? It's only an entrepreneur will quit a 40-hour a week job working for somebody else to work 80 hours a week working for themselves. And it's that, like, because you, especially if you're a solopreneur, like I'm the finance department. I'm sending out invoices. We're designing business cards, going to meet contacts, going and doing the shoots, doing the editing. So you're a one-man team that turns into, yeah, I could just go work from somebody and probably make more money consistently, but it's the grind of I now will never be told I can't go on vacation. And that's not even even if I go get a W-2, like if the entrepreneur life doesn't work, that's my number one. Like, it's before salary, before everything. How does y'all's vacation work? Well, you get 14 days. Cool. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm out. Like, I'm not in that lifestyle, nor will I allow myself to be, because at some point I might just go like, I just want to go for a month somewhere. And as long as I have money in the bank that can cover that, I'm going for a month. And that's where jobs don't, yeah. Entrepreneur life, man, it's not for everybody, but I do believe it's something that everybody should attempt, because you don't want to wake up at 60 and go, damn, I worked my whole life on somebody else's terms. And so that's what I'm learning now. I just turned 39 last week. So my goal is by like 45 or 50 it's like the 10-year plan is to be financially set. I don't know what that goal, like, I have some avenues as to how to get there, but to where I can disappear into the world at any length of time that I want to. And the business still run. So trying to build something over the next decade to sustain, that's the goal.
Right. And also, again, happy belated again.
Thank you very much.
We actually had the clip. We celebrated your birthday here last week.
I appreciate y'all for that, man. It's, I mean, the older you get, and everybody will tell you this, the older it starts to become just a day. And so, it feels good when you walk in and, you guys are singing happy birthday and stuff. So I really appreciated that, man.
Yeah, we were glad to have you. And also, like, I passed on a cupcake. So that was big. I'm still hurting about
I'm upset that I put 4 cupcakes down. And then Tiffany, my friend, she bought me 4 cheesecakes. Like 4 little cheese. So I went through 4 cupcakes and 4 cheesecakes.
This is the work. This is what it is.
I guess nobody wanted to share. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wanted a cupcake. I wanted 2 cupcakes, but at this point right now, I'm trying to say no to certain things and trying to be consistent. So
yeah, good for you,
so
man.
we could be here. Because I enjoyed the last 3 years. Like, when you said COVID shut everything down, it opened up the fridge.
It did.
And it opened up the takeout, and it opened up everything.
I thankfully, I think I've always had a high metabolism, but I used to walk around and eat anything in life. And, I was 140 pounds running cross country, and then it just stopped. And then, so now you got to pay attention. Like, I'm looking at 4 cupcakes, like, somebody please take these. Because I also don't like to waste food.
Right.
So I'm going to eat them.
Gotta eat them.
Because
you can't waste them.
But they got eaten.
They got eaten.
And 4 cheesecakes got eaten. And then some candy. And it's like, now I got to go to the gym, and I don't like going to the gym. It's a snowball effect of how I'm going to get to 200 and something pounds.
That's the whole thing. And so let me ask you, because you said like maybe like your metabolism shifted. I remember for my 30th birthday, I got sciatica. Like, I was like, it was the first, I just graduated college. It was the first summer I had off in maybe, I don't know how many years, 6, 8 years. Because as a teacher, the good ones, they work through the summer to get better at what they're doing. So it was my first summer off, no college. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to go outside and play ball. First day out at the park, I went, ran full courts. I was out there all day. 6 weeks in, couldn't move, back locked up, and that was my 30th. And I was like, man, I don't think this is gonna be all
Ran
right.
down the middle of your ass cheek.
Yo, I couldn't move my leg,
Yeah.
like, and I haven't had that problem since. But I also stopped playing balls much
Okay.
because I was like scared of what it could be. And I was like in shape. I was 30. I was a baby.
Yeah. See, and it's fun. I get random sciatic flare-ups, and it'll just won't be doing like I'll just lay on the couch, like just be laying on the couch, and it'll just flare up and your whole back will tend. I'm like, oh, I am the same age as LeBron James. I'm actually 2 months older. I used to watch him in high school after our basketball games. And like I played at Heights, would come home, watch him on ESPN, and he's still out here dunking on people. And I'm laying on the couch getting sciatic issues. And I'm like, is he dealing with this too?
I think
don't think
he
so.
might be.
You think?
Yeah, because he has back problems. He had back spasms, but he sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, he says he spends $1 million a year on his body. So
yeah,
I would hope if I spend $1 million, I'm not dealing with sciatic issues.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had the ankle, he had the groin thing. I mean, it's starting to I don't want to say take a toll because I don't think he's slowing down, but he early in his career really never had any real injuries. You know, now it's like 20 games here, 15 games.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's about to be 40.
Load management.
Yeah, right. Well, no, it's not. No, because you know.
Wait, are you? Because I was here for the last one. Are you Team Jordan or are you Team LeBron?
Oh, definitely. This is not even a question. It's LeBron.
Okay, just checking. We on the same team. We on the same team right now.
Oh, okay. No, you know, and shout out to my man Chris. I was talking to him we had a closing, and he was also Team LeBron.
Okay,
and but he's from Ohio, so I don't know if he's biased. But
have you seen the two comedians that do the trial about Jordan versus LeBron?
Nah,
shout out to Tony Baker, my frat brother, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. They do it's a 30-minute and it's a whole television show, but it's Jordan versus LeBron and two lawyers debating, and they're comedians. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. I definitely want to watch that.
Hilarious.
I think, and every week we probably gonna have to put string together a whole segment of the video, like a 5-minute clip of all the points that were made and weren't or debunked.
Yeah.
This is not my final, but this is the latest thing that kind of ends the conversation. Not whether people change their opinion, but it kind of stops the conversation. And this is it. Jordan, and look, and y'all in the comments, y'all can feel free to weigh in on this. I know we kind of going back and forth on this, so people have their opinions, but I'll say 2 points. One, Jordan was head and shoulders better than everybody else when he played. They also had a super team, but I'll keep it to that 1 point. He was head and shoulders above everybody else. So LeBron is just better. So because he's not, 8% better, 10% better, Jordan, no, LeBron is jumps higher, runs faster, stronger, more efficient, a better shooter.
But you can't talk that with Jordan fans, though.
They won't hear it.
Like the dude I was on the road with, we spent 7 years together every day on the road. And, we got a lot of time to kill. And he's, I think, 8 years older than me. So he's Team Jordan all the way. And those conversations got real heated because I would just be like, but the numbers, I watch the games. It ain't about numbers. I'm like, but the numbers kind of tell the story a little bit, though. But it's just funny that I think all that aside, and the stuff that he's done off the court adds to his legacy of talking LeBron. But I do think that he's the most scrutinized and had the most pressure on him than any athlete to date and lived up to the hype. I think there's been people that have had maybe as much pressure, but they didn't pan out. I don't think anybody was given the keys to a city at 18 years old and turned into, even if it's not LeBron and it's Jordan, we're having the conversation of the 18-year-old kid is arguably the best player to ever play the game. Kind of lived up to it. No scandals. If the worst thing that he does is a decision where he gives money back to the Boys and Girls Club, that's what they hate the decision. I'm like, you realize he donated like millions of dollars to the Boys and Girls Club when he did that at the Boys and Girls Club. Right. So
I agree. The only person I can think of that's closest to that is Zion, and he hasn't panned out.
Oh yeah, I won't use the B word on him just yet.
Right,
but he's leaning towards that way. I'm hoping this year is a turnaround for him.
When he plays, when he's on the court,
something serious.
It's just he can't stay on the court.
Yeah. And to pivot back to them with entrepreneurship, I think if you listen to the guys around LeBron talk, like his inner circle, I think that speaks more to him as a person than it's just the basketball. The fact that he put all of those people on, and he could have given out money, but he was like, what are you good at? Let me send you to school for that. Now you're my photographer. Now you're my videographer. This is what you do. You're my accountant. Or we don't have a agent. We're going to get this guy, you know, giving the people the opportunities versus handing out the money. I think he kind of learned the lessons that the old heads had told him. And that's part of being the entrepreneur mindset is, you know, I think that's how I want to put it. That's the reason that a lot of business owners, I think, fail when they try to take that next step, is because they don't know how to delegate. And you don't have to be the best at everything, but you need to know how to hire people that are better at what you do. And he put a whole team around him, $1 billion team at that.
Yeah. Just the sports marketing piece. Rich Poland is just forget about it. I mean, and all the restaurants, the pizza chain, Nike alone, he should probably break $1 billion with his lifetime contract.
Yeah, I think he signed $1 billion, didn't he?
Yeah,
but it's just
they didn't disclose it. But it's like if Steph Curry's making, and LeBron's got to be, you know, if Allen Iverson's making a certain clip, and so let me ask you a question about being an entrepreneur. What's the worst part about it, or what's one of the toughest things you had to encounter, or what's one of the downsides of being an entrepreneur?
I think for me, because I'm, if I'm being honest, I'm like a new entrepreneur. Like the last 3 or 4 years has kind of been the pivot from working for other people. I still had jobs, but I was building photography and Stop and Live on the side. I think the hardest part is not having people to talk to all the time, because you're dealing with issues, and this is where network is important. You're dealing with issues that the average person doesn't deal with because they just go to their job, and whether how much money they make, it doesn't matter. They're not dealing with the back end side of stuff. Like, did I keep all the receipts from my taxes? Where did that write-off go? The equipment that you got to buy, you know, walking down a precision camera and having to swipe a credit card for thousands of dollars for equipment and it coming out of your pocket, you know, those things I think have been the hardest. But now that I'm full-time Stop and Live photography, unequivocally the hardest thing is getting clients. And I don't think people talk about that as much as they should, because I've got some now clients and, you know, it's starting to turn over and all of that stuff. So the uphill battle is starting to hopefully crest a little bit, but putting yourself out there to go talk to somebody and get told no, and that's a different, like I'll tell you, and this is because we know her, and Amanda, don't hate me. I went in to talk to Amanda, and, you know, she told me to go over and see the ladies over at Elevate. So it's a brokerage out of Salado. So I drove from Heights all the way out to Salado. I get into the parking lot and something just came over. I wasn't feeling it. I drove all the way out there, turned around and drove all the way back. Didn't want, because you have to be in that mood. You have to be in that mode to go talk to somebody, and I'm very up and down sometimes. Like it's a switch, and I'll just be like, yeah, I don't want to do this right now. Like I'm not in the mood to sell myself. And so I swung around, went back home, kind of slid some DMs, and I've got a meeting with them next week. So, you know, I didn't let it go completely away, but in that moment, like you've got to be on. And shout out to everybody that can just be on all the time. That's an entrepreneur that have been doing it, and they just walk into a room, and I can do that. I can command a room when I want to. But if I'm not in that mood, I don't want to talk to people.
That's first of all, that's very honest.
Yeah.
And
so Amanda, I'm sorry though. I'm talking to them, I promise, but I didn't that day.
So this is what we do. Speaking of another entrepreneur, we're gonna take some time. I'm gonna pay some bills. My man Howard's blend. We're gonna run his clip real quick. Shout out to my man Howard. So if you want to just, is there anything that you wanted to add to that other piece, or we could also do highlights as well?
No, like I guess that that is what I'm dealing with right now in my business. Is I have a good enough reputation from being from here that once people find out that that's what I'm doing, oh, you do that? Well, let's talk. It's me now putting myself out there, because for, since '07, I've always kind of worked for somebody, and then this was kind of a side job. Now that it's not a side job, just got to put yourself out there and try to get some clients. But I'm getting better at it. I'm good at it when I want to be. I got to want to do it more, and that's the life of an entrepreneur, though. People don't. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. Like, some days you just don't want to do it.
Right.
But the difference is, the days that I don't want to do it, thankfully, I just don't do it. The days that, W-2 doesn't want to do it, they still got to go to work and put that smile on and customer service. So, it's ebbs and flows of both sides of it. But at least I'm thankful that when I'm in that mood, I don't have to do it. And I think that peace of mind helps a lot.
Yeah, I think, and that's why, again, I'm saying I don't feel like so much of an entrepreneur in terms of what I do, because I'm kind of getting to that point. And I look back at my life and I can't really remember anything that I've done for more than 5 years in a row.
Okay.
Even though I was in education officially for 14 years, I had different jobs, different roles, different schools, different districts. So it was always something fresh. Now I'm to the point with HAHOMES where, and I've said this, behind whatever, maybe on some other podcasts, where you're not going to be able to get a red hoodie soon. That's done.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining, because I'm blessed and I'm happy and I'm thankful for everybody that wants to learn and this, that, and the third. But like you said, people have a certain understanding, or they don't have a certain temperament, or whatever it is. And now I have clients who've been with me 3, 4, 5 years, and they're ready to go, and they pull the trigger and they understand and they know how to do the taxes. And then I get this one person and I got to go back and I got to spend so much time and so much. And I don't mind it, but then I do mind it when there's nobody that I've ever solicited. I don't cold call people and say, hey, you want to coach? You want to buy real estate? Like, you call me.
Yeah.
You call me because your friend's doing well. You call me because you've seen something you like, you've been watching. And then I say, hey, do this. And then you question me. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because my clients also make so much money that we don't really need to go outside
to bring in more people.
And then the reality is, I close my doors. No more social media. No need for a website. I don't have to market anymore. I could just run my business and then kind of fade away and probably make way more money than I've ever made, because everybody else is making more money.
Do you enjoy the social media side of stuff?
No, I don't do the social media stuff. I like the podcast.
Yeah.
So I think we might continue doing podcasting.
See, I'll tell you, I use you as like a selling point to other people, because I sell podcasts. So podcast production, video podcasts, all of that. And so they ask me this and that, and I kind of refer them to you and go, you might know other real estate investors in the area, but I'm pretty sure there's nobody else that's selling courses to local investors, and they have to be a part of a group and they have to pay to be a part of it. Now, there might be other ones, but I don't see them, so I don't know about them. But you being on social media, you doing this podcast and all of you become the expert in the field. So anybody that's looking at real estate in Central Texas on Instagram, you pop up, and then you get in that algorithm and you're now in their feed and you become the expert. That's what I tell people. Like, it's not so much about being an ROI of finances on video podcasts and stuff like that, but it is, you have the ability to look like the expert in your field, even if you might not be the most experienced. If you're the one that's putting all the content out, unfortunately, one way, however you look at it, social media is reality to a lot of people. And so if you're what they're seeing is the expert in Central Texas in whatever field it is, I'm probably going to call you first before you. And I say that as I don't do enough social media myself for Stop and Live Photography. Right. But again, jack of all trades, I can tell you how to do it. It's the execution.
Yeah. Listen, Phil Jackson or Pat Riley was a better coach than they were players.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Most coaches are.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah, you can't. Most people who have just like natural talent, they're not good coaches because you can't teach what they have.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I agree with that. And I don't know if I feel like I'm getting old. I don't know what it is. We had Halloween. What was it? 2 days ago? Not. It was 2 days ago.
No, it was yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm old. I'm
getting old. Your memory went away that quick.
Yesterday, I got to see my granddaughter run around the house. I chased her for the first time. I chased her around the couch for the first time.
How old?
They just turned 1.
Wow.
They're 2 twins.
Okay.
That was so much cooler.
Yeah.
Than being on the phone with somebody that is on the fence.
Yeah.
That I feel like I have, because I always say this, I'm not in sales. I'm not a realtor. My clients, I coach them into deals. Like, I'm not like, hey, you should. I feel like I'm in education. I know I have a business and I sell things, but I don't feel like I'm in sales. I feel like Lamborghini. They don't have to sell a Lamborghini. You either want a Lamborghini and you can afford it, or you want one and you can't, and you go there when you're ready. But you don't go window shop at Lamborghini.
That I've got this year will be 17 years, which is crazy to think, but I've got 17 years in a marketing background. And that's one of the things that, it's not really discussed or told, but it is implied is brand building. Once you build your brand big enough, you don't have to market as much as you want to. Like, if you notice, the bigger brands they'll come out for like the Super Bowl or something, but they don't do anything throughout the rest of the year because they don't have to. My name says it all.
Right.
And
I think that's where we're getting. And not that I'm so large, but the reality is with my lifestyle, my quality of life. And I say this all the time, like, if I made $150,000 a year, I could pay all my bills and I could still take one vacation a year.
Yeah.
I just got $150,000 check yesterday.
I seen it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I lost 12 on that.
I seen that too. And I think that's big on you too, from the social media aspect of it, to show the losses.
Yeah.
But from a lifestyle standpoint, I'm that guy in the sense of like, people tell me I live like a frat guy because things don't excite me. Like, you guys were talking about the bag and the Burberry scarf last week with Amanda, and it doesn't excite me. Like, this is probably, I haven't taken that off in 5 years. A dude in Morocco put that on my wrist, and that's my thing. Like, I don't. So you playing with the grandbabies in that happiness that you got, mine comes from travel.
Right.
So it's whatever I think that's important, is finding your why too. And whatever that is you just gotta, that's your goal. And you have to, unfortunately, I'm not a money guy, but you have to get the finances in order to get to the why, or you end up always chasing that.
Yeah. You're like Hansel from Zoolander. He's out here in Sri Lanka.
For sure. Like, all jokes.
The stories are so cool.
For jokes aside, I came to you. We were talking about doing a photography studio here, and then I talked with Amanda. I talked with some other people in my life, and I decided I'm just going to do it out of my house and see what happens. And so then I started asking what is needed, and they're like, "Oh, you've got to buy stuff, because when you walk in your house, there's nothing there." Kind of sketchy. I was like, I could see that. I could see that. But no, I've had a couple clients come through now, and the experience gets better and better every time. And I always ask, any feedback as I'm trying. And so, I got a full length mirror now in there that they can use, stuff on the wall that I got to sign. My parents just got me for my birthday, Stop and Live photography, that'll go on the door. Mm-hmm. So when you walk up to the door, it'll say that on it, stuff like that to make the experience better. Cause I do corporate headshots, and that's kind of like my niche, what I'm really good at now. I do real estate photography, corporate headshots, and in video podcast production. But the corporate headshots, I'm not to toot my own horn, but unless they're just not putting their work on social media, I think I do damn good work in the Central Texas area compared to what I've seen.
Yeah.
And so getting that name out there, I think I can do well with that.
I think I might be due for one. Because I was a teacher, so every year I had those. And I'm like,
I wasn't going to talk, not your headshot, but that to my realtors out there and anybody that is dealing with new clients on a daily basis. I cannot stress to you guys enough. the importance of an updated headshot.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Because I know some of y'all personally, and I see yard signs as I'm going to houses to shoot, and that's not you. Like, you got to get an updated headshot because it adds to the experience of your clients. I had to get one too because the one that I used to have, I was a little bit chubbier at the beginning of COVID, and I was like, I want to, slim down a little bit, get a new one. And the one that I had before that was like 10 years old. I didn't even have a beard in my headshot. It's like, that's how old the old one was. I didn't even have a beard. I was
like the catfishing.
I was probably, like I should, my LinkedIn profile had no beard. So spend a little bit of money and get those, because especially for all of my agents out there, that's your yard sign, that's your billboards, that's your business card, that's your LinkedIn profile, that's your TikTok handle, that's your Instagram photo, that's all of that. And so when people see my prices, sometimes they go, ooh. And I'm like, no, but you don't understand the value of what a good headshot does to bring to your business. And so I've also evolved, and I get the Christine from Communities in School. I don't know if you met her last year, but she's the young lady that puts everything together with all I did headshots for her daughter, and they were one of the first ones I did. And they were terrible. They loved them. They were good. But when I do now, so like my headshot now consists of about $2,000 worth of lighting. So when somebody goes, oh, my friend can do it for me, I'm like, they probably can't, but let me, I never tell people that. My response is always, I would love to see what they do. I hope it turns out, but please send it to me, because I actually want to see what my competition is putting out there. But yeah, headshots, get a, whether it's not me or not, I don't care who you use, but just make sure that it's a good one and you're happy with it. Because I've done a lot of events now where people will come up to me and go, well, I got headshots, but I just wasn't happy with it. I'm like, that irks me as a photographer, because my goal is, if you're paying for a 30-minute session and I can't get a good shot in 30 minutes, well, you just got an extra 30 minutes for free, because you're not leaving here until you're happy with something. Because one, I don't want you running around town telling people Josh over at Stop and Live, he did this headshot, but I don't like it. I want you to love it. And so, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You let me know. I'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably see you probably around spring.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some of this COVID weight off.
Yeah.
And then, because I ain't gonna.
We've been done with COVID for 2 years.
Nah, bro. Like I'm keeping it honest. Like, we got the gym in the house. So this is something that happened to me.
Oh, is that what happens when you're an entrepreneur? You get a gym in the house?
Yeah, my gym is tight. Like, people see my gym. I got I don't just have like a weight bench.
I go to Planet Fitness.
Like, I got better weights than Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness don't even have more than 70s.
Oh, right? You throwing a weight like that?
Yeah, I got No, I got plates and bumper guard. Like, we got weight. I got a full.
What you dumbbell bench pressing?
Like, I've hit hundreds before.
Really?
Yeah.
Good job, sir.
Yeah, thank you. No, but
I have not.
No, yeah. It's not that number. Don't like we don't ego lift, but you should work out so what you feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've hit hundreds.
Okay.
So that's not.
Yeah, that Planet Fitness isn't doing that.
That's not for me.
Yeah.
That I can't rock with them. And and I don't like bench on the Smith machine. Like I can't do that. But what I'm saying is, being a New Yorker, you can't find parking. You got to run around. You got to take the train. You got to run around. You live in a building. You got to go up and down the stairs. Like,
you walk.
I went from that and being a teacher and going in all the classrooms to retiring, COVID happening, and becoming 100% sedentary and not going to the gym and being like, oh, the gym is right there. I'm just going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And then take a nap and go in there when I'm comfortable. And 3 days later, I still haven't gone. So it was like 20 pounds a year.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, I'm out of breath from tying my shoe. So now, as we had some consistency, we're getting some gains, and I know where we'll be in a few months because I'm actually taking it serious again. But
I need to. It's. Where do you get your motivation? Let me interview you. Where do you get your motivation from?
For now, the motivation for the gym now.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to be diabetic. I'm getting old. I broke 40. A lot of my friends are like, oh, I got this thing, and I'm like, and there's no need. That's a very avoidable disease,
Yeah.
Like if it's about weight, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want that. And also my stuff, when you go to doctors, everything's green. My joint is perfect. Green, like a credit score. and then cholesterol went red for the first time, and then the second time, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I got never. So I have to manage my diet, because what happens? You have 10, 15-hour days. I come home, it's Texas, nothing's open. So it's just these fast food chains. So I go home, a burger and fries, stuff I would never eat in New York. New York, you have options. So come home, eat that bad food, and then you look back and you're like, hey, my pants are tight. Like, so now it's going in reverse, and I feel like I have to do that, because a lot of people rely on me, you know, and like, I don't know, at my best year, I had almost 200 1099s. Damn. So for which I don't know, like that means 200 people got paid by my company, and that's just one company. Last year, I think we did 80. I employ 40 to 50 people.
Yeah.
They rely on me. People's economies. I can't just be out there being sick. And like, we just started really getting money. I don't want to be sick with money now. Like, I want to be able to enjoy this stuff.
Yeah.
And now COVID opened up. So now I got money and time and freedom. My wife's retired. Now we can go travel. I'm not going on the beach. That dude, I'm not gonna be that dude on the beach.
You should be that dude on the beach either way.
Nah, I'm not gonna be that dude on the beach.
Body positivity, baby. I just came back from the Bahamas. They got all of this.
Nah, man. I'm not. Nope.
Yeah, I was out there just living it. But yeah, I get it. My father's type 2 diabetic. I dealt with the cholesterol thing because I had the cholesterol. She told me it was like a 70-year-old man. I was having chest pains. And finally got a very funny story. I'll tell it real quick. I got the whole STD workup, the whole 9.
Right.
And they called me on a Friday. I was like, we need you to come into the office. So you know me, I'm like, oh damn, did I catch something? Oh no. You automatically go to the sexual stuff because that's the important stuff, because we're dumb dudes. So I never met the doctor. And she goes, well, I want to talk to you. Everything is good. But I'm really worried about your cholesterol. It's like 280 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, it was bad. And I was like, but I'm good here.
Right.
Like I saw, she's like, yes, but, and I did it. I was like, okay, I get that. That's cool. But I'm good. It's like sexually, I'm good. And she was like, Mr. Sharon, this isn't a joke. I was like, well, you obviously don't know who I am, because I'm gonna laugh at this. But yeah, they had me on a statin. No, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I don't take medicine for anything.
I never took it. But they prescribed.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like I never did. Yeah. Even like I had shoulder surgery and didn't take no painkillers. Full wisdom teeth the same day. No surgery.
Okay.
Like I don't take medicine.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to, because I understand the importance of if it's prescribed. I don't want to get to the point
where you need it,
because it's manageable.
Yeah.
It's not hard to be like, there's 4 cupcakes in the back. Just say no today. You know how many cupcakes I've had in a row with birthday parties, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll eat that, and I'll eat the rest of the cake. So like I've had my fun for the 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Now it's time for discipline. And shout out to my man Gary, Coach G. He was like, bro, you have everything else pretty much in life the right way, and you've been in shape.
Time to get
and
it.
You know how to get in shape. Why wouldn't you just do that? You make your own schedule. You have a gym in your house.
Yeah, we have no excuses. That's the thing. It's an entrepreneur. You have no excuse. And that's the unfortunate part, because every morning that I wake up and I don't go to the gym, I'm like, I had no reason.
There's no excuse.
No excuse.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. So I also think, and this is a small piece to it, but this is the final piece on that, is it also speaks to almost your character, because a lot of the things that I preach to my clients is discipline, delayed gratification, focus, all of these things, right? Discipline. And reality is your physique is like the ultimate billboard for your discipline and your self-worth. Because if you really value yourself and you have a happy life and you're enjoying it, why wouldn't you want to do everything you could do to prolong it?
Yeah.
So it's almost like oxymoronic in that sense. And again, there's no excuse. And again, like, look, in a couple months, baby girl's gonna be even faster. I don't want to be that grandpa, like, it's okay. I want to be up and out and about.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm not old. I'm like middle-aged.
And like I don't have any kids. So like I have no excuse. Like it's a motivation thing, man. And it's an internal thing. But I think that's the struggle that everybody goes through is just figuring out how to get up out the bed or, turn the TV off. I'm a binge Netflixer. Like I binge television or binge YouTube for photography stuff, video stuff. And then you wake up look up, it's 3 hours later. You're like, damn, spent 3 hours on a photography rabbit hole figuring out the next lighting setup. Like could have went to the gym.
Yeah, you could. That's you watch that stuff when you're on a treadmill, and it kind of goes a little faster.
See, fun fact: I can't run on a treadmill.
No, you can walk. Walk on the incline is good for your heart.
No,
or whatever.
I can't. I can't do cardio indoors.
Oh, because you're a track guy.
Yeah, like I spent all them years running from. Like I used to run from Killeen over there by Killeen Daily Herald in Nola Middle School to Harker Heights High School.
That's like 8 miles, right?
Yeah,
6, 7
I used
miles?
to go the back way when Stagecoach was just Stagecoach. So it was like I think it was my 10-mile run day.
Yeah,
because that would be people were like, I seen you running on Stagecoach. Don't you live in Killeen? I'm like, yeah, I got there.
Right.
I get a ride back.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, with that, I think that's a good place for us to stop.
Yeah, man. I would definitely love to be back on at some point.
Yeah.
If season 4, season 5. Maybe you'll let me come run your podcast for you.
Yeah, we'll work that out. It'll probably be a new setup. And how can everybody reach out to you?
You can find me on my website, stopandlivellc.com, and all of my handles are Stop and Live Photography. And like I said, I do headshots, video podcast production, and real estate photography. Drone work. I'm a Part 107 pilot's license. We should talk about that next time.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that off camera. Yeah, I need drone shots.
Yeah,
with the mobile home park and everything.
Yeah,
yeah. We're gonna get some drone work. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get that. The drone work is coming. All the links will be in the bio. We appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. Season 4, I'm assuming we're probably gonna have a brand new set. Josh is probably gonna be the set designer.
I'm gonna attempt to. We got it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the lighting designer for sure.
For sure.
I'm gonna get your light right.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you for everybody tuning in. We'll holler at you soon. Peace.